I like that. I like that. So if you tell me what it's not about, then you can ask somebody else. Ask somebody else. Like this guy's smarter than you.
Just like 10 times.
So ask him, what is it about?
So it's about what we don't learn in school. So you guys are here to teach us about things that help us.
You use the word teach, and I'm not here to teach, we're here to learn together. So let's put it in that concept, because everybody knows something different, and we're learning from each other. It's just that I made like 10,000 more mistakes than anybody else because I'm so old, okay? But that's about it. I'm still learning. So this is about what schools don't teach us and why we should learn. And we will do it in a unique way. And the way I like to put it is, first of all, I wanted to thank FICA for setting up this workshop so we can have this kind of a session. And to that, I need to thank Deepa Rao and also Madhu for giving, Mahima Madhu for giving us, coordinating this with me. The workshop learn the letters, because they believe that if you read a lot, you'll suddenly become very smart, right? You agree? Read this book, read this story, come back and do this exam, do this problem. So they want you to learn this stuff. But what you should really be learning is also the other stuff, the background. If you learn the background, then what you have studied makes it better. It comes into focus. What that means is, don't just learn what they teach you in school, learn all the other things that make it complete. Everybody okay with that? Here's the thing. The cowboy can shoot the bear. The bear can defeat the ninja. And the ninja can defeat the cowboy. Right? Here's the backup. That okay? It's like getting medicine for anti-anxiety and depression. Instead of taking the pills, if you do this every day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, whenever you feel stressed, you don't have to spend the money, and you don't have any chemical side effects by doing this on a regular basis. Just breathe in, and when you feel stressed, just relax. Hey, you don't have to go to a doctor, you can try and do things yourself. All of us feel stressed. You've got homework to do, you've got college applications to fill, you've got to think about exercise, you've got to think about eating, you've got to do the house chores. I got work to do, you got work to do. Some friend didn't call you, you're wondering why she didn't call you, why she's not your friend anymore. Something happens. Some stress is always there in our life. Everybody has stress. But guess what? Indians discovered this pranayama 10,000 years ago. Western America just discovering it now. So who is smarter? We discovered it 10,000 years ago. How to breathe well, relax, and learn this art of, it's called yogic meditation, but you don't have to call it fancy names. Just learn how to sit down, relax your muscles, and just breathe for 5 minutes. Take time out. You're with a group of friends, you're feeling stressed, right? And tell everybody, hey, I'm going to take 2 minutes off. Go away, 5 minutes, deep breathe, come back, you're in a better place. Everybody okay with that? If you feel stressed. Things stress us out. You're not the only one, you're not the only one, you're not the only one. Even today, I get this. Silence is calming. People speaking to you in 10,000 words a minute, stresses us out sometimes. It's exciting, but also stresses us out. Calm, relaxed speaking, calm, relaxed listening relaxes us. If somebody is calm, you are calm. If I'm excited, you're excited. Right? So learn how to use your energy. Conserve energy, expand energy. Right? They both have to be equal. Input and output. Input, output. If output is more than input, what happens? If you're spending a lot of energy but you don't have enough input, you get burnt out. Thank you. That's smart. You get burnt out. Who wants to get burnt out? I don't want to get burnt out. You'll be a wreck by the time you're like 25 years old. You'll be shaking and taking pills all the time. We don't want to do that. We don't want to get burnt out, right? So why not take medicine that is free instead of paying a doctor to get the medicine? Of course, if there are some serious issues, nothing wrong with going to a doctor. okay? I'm not saying doctors are bad, but there are self-help techniques, okay?
The elephant and the border collie. So these are the different types of extroverts. So, Deepak, you want to...
Remember a bicycle, everybody rides a bicycle here? Right. So if you get on a bike and you start pedaling and you turn left, where does the bicycle go? Left. And then if you turn right, it goes to the right. Everybody knows how to ride a bicycle. You balance and you ride. So this guy said, I'm going to train I'll see if this neuroplasticity, the brain is like a Play-Doh nonsense is correct or not. I'm going to see if I can change my brain. He devised an experiment. Remember, experiment, hypothesis, and then whether the hypothesis is validated or not, whether it's correct or not, he can test it. So he took the bicycle and he put a gear system there. So when you turn the handlebar to the left, the wheel goes to the right. And when you turn your handlebar to the right, the wheel goes to the left, because you change the gear system there. And guess what? The first time he got on it, he fell off. He wanted to go to the left, and then it went to the right, and he was leaning this way, and then the bicycle logo went that way, and he fell off. He tried again and again and again. In 3 months, he was able, his brain, he jumped on the bicycle, and when he wanted to turn left, he would turn this and he would go to the left. And then when he wanted to turn that way, he would turn the handle this way and he would go that way. He knew how to fix it. His brain worked wonderfully. You can actually find this on YouTube. It's called Neuroplasticity and the Bicycle. I think you can find this video. He used to go on a stage and he would say, I'll give $100 to anybody who can jump on the bicycle and ride from here to here. And if you don't, you give me $10. You know what? Every year he made thousands of dollars, because everybody would say, I can ride the bicycle, and then they would jump on it and then they'll fall off in the middle, and then. So he basically was telling people, you can change your brain, but it takes time. 16 weeks is typical. 16 weeks is 4 months. Okay, everybody? So here's the interesting thing. But can your brain change? Okay, so one day he decided I had enough of this, and he went, I remember, he did the reverse experiment, and he went back to a regular bicycle and he started, and he fell off the regular bicycle. He'd forgotten how to do this regular bicycle, but he found he could get back on the regular bicycle. Within 5 days, he learned how to ride a regular bicycle again. His brain changed back. What that means, your brain over a period of time can continuously change. It's up to you to change your brain. But wait a minute, either this is only good news or is it bad news? The bad news is, if you adopt bad habits, that changes your brain. If you go with people who do drugs regularly, even though you're not doing it, your brain is already changed by the fact that you're associated with people like that. Your brain is changed. You see some bad stuff, your brain gets affected. If you see horror, gore movies, people who kill each other, the American TV is full of people who shoot each other all the time. I have no idea why. We don't do it in real life. The drum, good one.
Blue jackal.
The blue jackal, good one.
I remember the stories, I just don't remember the names.
What characters are there in the story?
It was there was a farmer. There was a farmer and there was a cobra.
Okay, the farmer and the cobra, same story. So you two, okay, you add to the story. These two remember that. Okay, next.
The mongoose.
The mongoose and the
Brahmin.
and the Brahmin. That's okay, yeah. And then your story.
The blue jackal.
The blue jackal. So 2 people who are the blue jackal. Okay, blue jackal. Okay.
Loyal mongoose.
The loyal mongoose. Yes, that's the same as 2 other people. Okay.
The monkey and the crocodile.
The monkey and the crocodile. That's a really good one. What did you read?
The blue jackal.
The blue jackal. Okay, so the people who have the same stories, you say one sentence, the other person will say, whoever else has read the same story, you can say the other sentence. So that way you complete stories quickly. Okay? Let's start off with, all of them are my favorite stories.
Blue jackal got 3, so you can
So
start.
let's start off blue jackal. How many people did blue jackal? 1, 2, 3. You start off the story, once upon a time, and he'll complete. Remember, we know this method now. You complete the story, okay? But don't add your own imagination, okay? Now we're going to learn from the Panchatantra. Okay, go. Once upon a time, there was a
blue jackal that couldn't find.
There was a jackal.
That had to get
from the
Correct. So once upon a time there was a jackal that wanted to get food. It went into a village, and then what happened?
Every single time we went to the city, there was this big pack of dogs that kept scaring it away.
Oh, okay. And then
so it just like tried to wander around the city. And one day it went inside of a house. Like right before it went inside, a pack of dogs came and chased the jackal out, and then the jackal fell into a vat of blue dye.
okay, the jackal fell into the vat of blue dye. Then what happened?
And then by the time it was able to get free of the water, it was from head to toe, and it was
Blue.
dyed blue. So when it went back into the forest, all the animals were like, "What is this type of creature?"
Oh, nobody knew what the type of creature it was. It looked all blue. They didn't know it was a jackal. Then what happened?
Then he said, then the blue jackal said, I'm going to be the king of the forest now.
Okay, he wants to be the king of the forest. And then
Then he like had all the other animals be its servants.
he made everybody the servant.
Yeah, and then got fed well and never went back and didn't go back into the city.
Didn't go back to the city. And then one day
He
he ordered everybody around as though he was a king. And then
he also banished the
he
jackals
banished the
that
pack of
was,
jackals
his
away.
friends, because he was worried that they might recognize him.
Right. And then
And then one day the jackals outside of the forest were howling.
they were
And
howling.
then the blue jackal howled with them, and then all the animals were like, this is a jackal. This is not like some strange creature from the
So you're
heavens."
not really a different creature. You're just a jackal. And then the lion and the tiger
Eat it.
pounced on it and killed it. Right? Okay, this is a nice story. Right? So what are the lessons we can learn from this story? I want somebody else to tell me. What's the takeaway?
Don't be somebody else that you aren't.
Don't be somebody else you're not. Be yourself, Shrestha. You're the most unique Shrestha. Don't be somebody else. Don't be Anika. Don't be Ameya. Don't be anybody else. Just be Shrestha, right? You're Shrestha, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. Cool. Any other lesson from this story?
Believe yourself. Like, don't be too greedy.
Don't be
Just
too
take
greedy.
what you have.
Don't think too highly of yourself. What final takeaway from you two, the who told the story? What do you think, Woody?
Well, do not be someone else. Just be yourself.
Good one. With that, you learn the story. Good job. Good job. Right? It's such a simple story, but the story is more powerful than just telling you don't be anybody else. Be yourself. It's such a dumb way of saying it, but in the story, Indian stories have a way. The Panchatantra means five learnings, and Indians made it so wonderful to learn that you'll never forget it. Stories cannot be forgotten. Words of advice can be forgotten, but the stories cannot be forgotten. If somebody tries to pretend to be somebody they're not, you say, hey, don't be a blue jackal, you know? Okay, who else wants to go now? You want to go? Okay, you want to go? Go.
So there was this
So speak up and you can do action.
there was this poor farmer who like land didn't make that much like profit for him. So on a hot day he went to like rest under a tree.
Okay, he went to rest under a tree and then?
So then he saw, when he was going to the tree, he then saw like a cobra. And the cobra looked very powerful, and it looked very nice, so he decided that, okay, if I worship this cobra, then my lands will get me more crops, and like I'll be more successful and I'll get more food. So he put a bowl of milk in front of the cobra, and the cobra was on an anthill, so he put a bowl of milk to the cobra on an anthill. The next day, the bowl of milk was empty, and there was one golden coin.
There was one gold coin in place of the milk there.
Yeah, there
In
was
front of it. Okay, wow. Anybody else want to continue the story? Quick, yes.
And then he did that every day, and then one day he had to go to another village, so he made his son do it.
Okay.
So when his son went to give the cobra the milk, he just put it there. And when the son came back the next day, he saw that there was a gold coin, and he thought that the anthill would have a lot of gold. So he tried to like kill the cobra.
Yeah.
But the cobra like dodges his like stick and
Yes.
then bites the son.
He bites the sun and the sun died.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
And then,
So then, after the son died, the farmer came back, and he ended up giving back. He ended up coming back, and then the next day, he also still gave the cobra a bowl of milk.
Okay.
And then the cobra refused to give him a coin and refused to take the bowl of milk because the cobra said that as you have only done this in greed because you just want the
More gold coins.
You just want more gold coins instead
Okay.
of mourning for your son and like doing what you should be doing. You're just wanting to. You're out of greed. You're giving me milk just to get more gold coins, so I won't give you any more gold coins.
So, good. So this is a great story. What are the lessons we can learn from this?
Don't be greedy.
Don't be greedy. Something else you can learn? Go ahead.
Always be pure-hearted.
Always be pure-hearted, and then. So greedy is a very funny term. You want, and he could have been happy with what he had, but he ended up saying, okay, he imagined a scenario where he could take more, and ended up it caused him more harm than good, right? What else can you learn? So you had a good friendship with somebody, now you lost all the friendship too, right? So there's a lot of lessons to be learned from farmer and the, right? Yes?
Don't try to take things, like don't take things for granted because
Yeah.
it wasn't his gold coins. That was just like a side favor. It's not
Right,
like
it was a favor
Yeah.
and he tried to ask too much from it, right? And don't do that. So don't give help to somebody and expect help in return. So tomorrow I'll help you with, let's say with homework or do something for you. I shouldn't expect that you do it back for me because, just because I did it. I did it because I was hopefully pure-hearted, but if I expect you to do something and you don't, I become unhappy. So whenever you help somebody, don't expect things back. They don't teach this to you in school. In America, everything is always transactional. Transactional means I give you something, okay, you get something, and then you give me something, I get something. This is called transactional behavior in America. We don't do that. Have no expectations. When you do good to somebody, do it pure and free, and good things will always come back to you. I have helped like 1,000 people up till now at the university. I don't ask for anything, but they'll come back and help me even if I don't want to. They'll come and help me anyway. Why? Because I didn't ask for anything. Okay, but I know good things will happen to me if I help somebody. It doesn't mean I say yes to everybody. I'm just saying that that's what happens. Anybody else wants to tell a story? Which one?
On the loyal mongoose.
The loyal mongoose. Go for it.
So once upon a time there was this couple and they had a pet mongoose and one day they had a baby.
The mongoose had a baby, okay?
They had to go out of the house for work, so they left the mongoose and the baby by itself. And then when they left, the snake stuck in the house.
The snake stuck in the house, and then?
And then the mongoose was very protective of their baby. So then the mongoose went and attacked the snake, and then the snake died.
Oh, the mongoose killed the snake, okay?
But then there were blood stains on its teeth.
Mm-hmm.
The woman came back to the house and saw the mongoose had bloodstains all over its face, and then the woman yelled at the mongoose and said, "You killed my baby." And she lost her temper and killed the mongoose.
Oh my God! It killed the mongoose because the woman mistakenly thought that the mongoose had killed the baby. Okay, and then?
When the woman went further into the house, she saw that the baby was happy and was playing, but then but there was a dead snake right next to it, and she realized her mistake.
She realized her mistake, but it's too late. The mongoose had died. It was a loyal person, loyal mongoose, but it had died. So what is the biggest lesson from here? You want to say it? You haven't spoken. Yeah, go ahead. What is the big lesson here?
I guess don't assume that people do.
Don't assume.
And don't assume without knowing the entire thing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Such a nice thing. Don't assume that people are some way. When somebody does something, just wait. Okay? Yes.
Press pause before acting.
Press pause before action. That's a good one.
I would say don't act out of spite.
Don't act out of spite. Don't act in haste. Press pause.
Don't always do good for someone if you don't know what don't always be too full because then
You can make mistakes. You
Yeah,
can't
you can
rewind the mistakes sometimes. If you make a
Yeah.
mistake, can't rewind it. Yes.
Don't assume the worst.
A disciple. And so after that, the swindler's like, why isn't he like leaving his bag alone? Like, have I not earned his trust enough to leave the bag alone with me? And one day, like, the sage's friend, he has like a religious event going on. So he sends his son to like invite the sage over to their house. And the sage, hearing this, he's like, yeah, I'll go. So he gives like the bag of money, like wrapped in a robe, to the swindler, and then he goes off and like goes into like a bush or something. And the swindler, seeing this chance, like he takes all the money from the bag that the sage always carries, and then he just leaves to like the city. And then when the sage comes back, he kind of just like looks at this, and then he's like, oh, why did this like happen? Like, I don't think I can trust people anymore like this anymore, even though he didn't trust people like from the very beginning. So that was it.
What did you learn from that story?
Don't build a relationship just to feed on your own greed.
Exactly. Anybody else? Were you kiddo? Don't be the swindler.
Act smart.
Act smart. Yes, good one.
Don't just trust people. Like
Okay.
randomly.
Think smarter, not harder.
Think smarter, not harder.
Not all of your friends are like wanting good for you.
So we learned so much from a simple stories, right, everybody? I would like all of you to try and read many more stories from Indian Panchatantra. Be proud of where you come from. Remember, you have 10,000 years of smart knowledge in your brains, okay, already. That means America has been around for 250 years. We have been around for 10,000 years, okay? There's a lot going on. Understand yourself, okay? So, anybody else can give me an example of active listening? Yeah, go ahead.
Like if my friend like is talking about their day, like something happened. So something happened.
Okay, so anybody else can give me an example of active listening? Yeah, go ahead.